My name is Martha. I'm originally from Colombia. I live in Houston, and I was introduced to LiveWave by Ann Sontine. She's my neighbor, and that was about 4 months ago. That by mistake, a package was delivered to her house. So she came to give it to me, and she had a sign about the activation patches, stem cell patches, and I was kind of curious, but I never approached her because I never saw her in person. So actually that was the first time that we met, and I asked her about the patches, and then she gave me some samples. I was going out of town at that time, and I took the patches with me, and I was so amazed how they worked. I put them, and the next day I felt the energy. I felt completely different, and I just didn't understand what was going on, but I knew it was the patches because she told me you have to drink a lot of water. And one of the first things that I experienced was a lot of thirst. So I was very thirsty. So I knew that that was the patches. So during that week, I was very active. The energy level was amazing. The concentration, I was very focused on what I was doing. And I started just doing a lot of research about the patches because I really couldn't believe the way how I was feeling. And then I started learning a lot about them. And I spoke to you guys about my dad's, and today I'm going to talk about my mom. And it was very overwhelming what was going on, because right after I tried the patches and everything, I got the news that my dad was very sick, that he was in the hospital for a month. Then they discharged him and let him go home. And they told us that he was gonna die anytime, that we should have just go and spend time with him. So that when I learned that, I immediately ordered all the patches, and I got some extra ones from Anne, because I just want to have them all. So I took him with me, and I just by the pictures and all the research that I did, I thought that they were going to help my dad. So I got home, and I used them with my dad. And while I was there, my other sister told me that my mom was also very sick. They didn't want to let me know because it was just too much going on at the same time. But my mom, she is 92 years old. She has Alzheimer's and dementia. And what happened to her, she had diverticulitis. And she was in the hospital also for like 2-3 weeks at the same time that my dad. But I didn't know about it. Then they didn't let me know until I was there. So I spent I flew immediately to Colombia. I spent with my dad 1 week. And that weekend, I went to see my mom. And my mom was already at my sister's house. She was very weak. I mean, she lost a lot of weight. She's tiny. She's like 5'2", and she was about like 90 pounds. She lost a lot of weight. She couldn't eat anything. She couldn't talk. She was just like there, not talking, nothing, just complaining and just feeling horrible. I mean, you couldn't touch her, everything. I mean, she was just, it was very sad to see her that way. So her stomach was so inflamed. I mean, she's tiny, but her stomach was so big that it was just like amazing to see her that way. So then I was like, oh my gosh, what I'm gonna do? So one of the things, because I didn't know what patch to use, I only knew about the X39 and the Aeon, but I didn't know about the other ones, right? But I was just looking around, looking online, and then Anne gave me a book that she had, and she said, I asked her for it, and she said, that might help you. And I said, yes, I need to know, and I need to see what I can do for her. So I took this book that I don't know if you. And then what I saw, I found this. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, it's
okay, I guess. Okay, here it goes.
right there.
So it tells you what patches to use for the diverticulitis. So that's how I patch my mom, just like that. And if you want me to, I'll send you the picture later, and you can put it in the chat. And I just didn't know what to expect. I just put the patches, and then and the X39. The next day, guys. The next day, her stomach is shrunk to normal. The next day, I mean, my sisters, the nurses, the doctors, everybody was just so impressed to see my mom that happened, because I mean, they couldn't believe it. I mean, it was like magic. So they were like, asking me a lot of questions, and the same thing happened with my dad, and it was happening, simultaneously. So it was like, like magic, like, what are these magic patches that you're bringing here, right? And everybody was just very amazed at what was going on. And then the next day after, her stomach went back to normal, and the following day she was asking for food, but she wasn't asking for soup or anything. She was asking for like a big meals. She wanted to have like steak and rice and salad and soup. And we were like, oh my goodness gracious. I mean, she wasn't taking any type of food. Of course, we didn't give her that because she has to stay on a diet. But I mean, we started just giving her more fluids and slowly giving her more food. And the following day, she was able to stand up. She was very shaky because, I mean, she had like malnutrition. I mean, she wasn't eating for like, I don't know how long. She was on IV, just taking all everything, her nutrition via IV. So then it was amazing to see her eating and getting stronger. And that was later with the energy enhancer, what I used after that. And today, actually yesterday, I was talking to my sister. Of course, she still has dementia, but she talks a lot. In her little world, I mean, she still recognizes, because she also has Alzheimer's. So she recognized all of the kids, we 8, and she knows everyone by name. And but I mean, her memory is not, how it's supposed to be, but she talks a lot. And yesterday my sister was telling me that now she is just walking by herself, which I mean, obviously, she has a nurse and we don't want her to move alone, because I mean, she's old and we need to take care of her. But I mean, she just wants to walk and do things. So that was amazing. And one of the things that really inspired me to that is Anne's dad, because Anne's dad is also 92. And that's when, when we were talking about the patches and everything, and I saw him and I said, oh my God. And she said, yes, he's 92. And I said, it's like my mom. And it really, see him so active and so well. And now seeing that my mom, of course, with her condition, she's doing awesome. It is really amazing. It's just priceless. So while I was there doing all this, my niece, I can hear you, Wendy. Are you talking to me?
I was. So can I ask a question? So with your mom, because you started this with her back, what, in like July, I think it was?
Yes, in July. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so is she now engaging in more activities on her own?
And I
able
have
to communicate better?
Yes, I have videos, and I would love to share those with you, but I guess I wasn't ready. But maybe I can put them in the chat if you want me to. I'll be happy to do that, to see how she has been improving. And she's still skinny because she has to keep her diet. But I mean, but she talks, and one of the things that is very impressive is like she loves poetry, and then she started just giving all her speeches and in hours, and they're so long, and we're like, oh my gosh, how in the world she can't remember all this? And then she sings, and then I mean, it's just amazing just to see how she's doing after seeing her basically unconscious and suffering of pain. So that was great. And like I said, and it was amazing because everything was happening just right there in front of us, and with like days of difference. I mean, the changes were like overnight. And then my niece, she was there obviously because all the family were together trying to help with my parents. And then my niece was visiting, and then she just came to me, and then she goes, Auntie, I need to tell you something. Do you think the patches can help me? And I said, what happened? I mean, are you okay? And then she goes, oh, well, she has a 1-year-old boy. And then she said, after I give birth my baby, I have horrible hemorrhoids. It is so painful that, I mean, I can stand up for 30 minutes because I mean, they just come out. I have to go to the bathroom. It's uncomfortable. It's so painful. I don't have a life. I can't enjoy my baby. I'm afraid of having the surgery, and my life is miserable. I mean, and then my sister was telling me, yes, I mean, she complains all the time, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I told her to have the surgery. And then I was like, okay. And then I was thinking, okay, what patch? And I said, okay, I'll try the Aeon. So I give her the Aeon, and I told her to put it on the tailbone. And I said, well, try it. And I give it to her. And we were like visiting, and we were just, doing family stuff in the house. And, she came back like after 30 minutes, and then she goes, it's not bothering me anymore. And I said, okay. And then she goes, but I think it's too soon to say. And maybe I'm very excited because everything that's going on here, because that was when happened, when my mom, my mom's was getting better. So she said, maybe it's just psychological. Maybe it's just my mind, but let me wait a little bit. And then she was just there doing things and everything, and with the baby, and we were just cooking and stuff. And then she was, it doesn't bother me. I mean, it has been like 2 hours, and the pain is gone, and I feel okay. And I was like, okay, so that's great. And she goes, yes, but I just don't want to be too excited. I'm going to wait until tomorrow because I need to go to the bathroom and I need to figure out if they really work. And I said, okay, that's fine, no problem. Next day, like around 7 in the morning, my phone was like, and then she was sending me all these emojis and all these pictures. And she goes, I'm alive again. This is my, my new life just started. I mean, I was able to go to the bathroom like never before. And I'm so, so happy. And they have been gone ever since. Now she uses them once a week. And I talked to her yesterday because I was checking on my mom, and she was there. And then she said, I mean, I love them. I love them. I love them. And she orders, the patches every month. So, I mean, she's just very, very, very happy. And recently I also have some pictures of my daughter that she fell from the school bus. She landed on her shoulder. And I was in Dallas with her. And it was like about 6 because she was into some trainings and stuff. So she got home like around 6. So and she was like crying, and her shoulder was so inflamed and she couldn't touch it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to take you to the emergency room. But I said, you know what? Let me try the X39 and see what happens. And then I just, put some ice. Yes, go ahead.
So everybody, just so you can see. So here's some pictures. So the one, Martha, the one on the, what is it, that right? That's when she first got injured?
Yes, and you can see because it's all red, and you can see the inflammation. It was so bad. I mean, I was so worried, and I couldn't even touch it because she was like crying so bad. And I was like, I gave her some Tylenol, and I sent her to bed, and I said, let's wait until tomorrow and see what happens. And then the next day, you see, it was only like a little scratch, and was completely fine.
So that one again. So then there's the day after.
Exactly.
And that is amazing. Just 24 hours later, coming.
Not even, it was less than that.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell the whole entire shoulder is bruised and red and scraped. Yeah. Wow, that's fast healing.
It is. I'm telling you guys, I mean, I don't know but I'm having like the best experience with LifeWave, and I share it with everyone. There's some people that I heard that they don't feel it, or they just don't see any difference, but I guess, we know that they're doing something somewhere, and they're probably not very aware of their bodies. That's what I'm saying, right? But I mean, most of the people that I have been sharing the patches with, I mean, you can see. It's just amazing. So I'm just happy to share the testimonials. And when I talk to people about, because they ask me about my parents and I start talking about this, they said, okay, we want them. So that's it.
Exactly. What about this one that you shared with us? So what's this lady's story?
Oh, okay. That is my friend's mom. That's Ali's mom, Anne. Okay. She and I really have to invite her. We have to invite her because, I mean, her mom really had a serious condition. She had cancer long time ago in her jaw, and she was okay for a while, but then it came back. So they had to give her like a transplant. They took part of her femur, the bone, her bone, and they put it on her yaw, and they had to do chemo and everything, and it was very, 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 very bad. So I shared with her the patches as soon as I started seeing everything with my family, and then she gave it to her mom, and that was after the surgery. And at that time she was just taking some, there's some more pictures prior, but those were like the last ones. And then she had chemo and all that
radiation.
Yes, radiation, and that's why her skin was so dry and everything. And in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's how the skin got so nice. And she loved the patches. She loved the energy enhancer, X39 and Alavida. Those are her favorite ones. But you can see the in the pictures, you can see the skin, how pretty it looks.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll show that to you one more time. So here
Yeah.
was the before picture, everybody.
Uh-huh.
And you can tell that skin is angry. Oh my gracious, God bless her heart. And then you said 2 to 3 weeks, and you can just see all that redness gone, the swelling's gone.
And her hair came back, and she loves it. I mean, she's very blessed, you know, to to have the patches in, and she's very excited, and she calls her daughter all the time and asks her for more. So I would love to have her so she can tell you guys exactly her condition and how she's doing right now. But I know that she's doing awesome.
And we do have pictures. I'm going to do this because I want to give your mama give your mama a little limelight here. So here's the picture of your mama. I presume this was before she started patching.
Mm-hmm.
And here she is, bright.
FaceTiming. We were FaceTiming there, and she was talking and singing and just so cute. Yes.